all of a sudden I'd be in a pose and I'd be crying or tears would be coming down, but I wouldn't be thinking about anything or necessarily feeling anything, just noticing that this energy was moving.
Welcome back to Positive Vibes. I'm your host, Nicki Dennis. And if you have ever felt weighed down by old patterns, disconnected from yourself, or feel like you're living a life in survival mode, well, today's conversation is going to feel like a breath of fresh air. My guest, Shauna Hawkes, knows exactly what it's like to feel stuck and what it takes to find your way back to freedom, joy, and deep self-connection. Shauna is a woman's embodiment mentor, yoga teacher, and Gene Keys guide who helps women break free from self-sabotage, embrace their feminine nature, and create lives that feel light, fulfilling, and truly their own. With a background in social work and over 15 years of experience in yoga and holistic healing, she blends the grounded with the soulful, offering practical tools and intuitive guidance in retreats, workshops, and mentorship programs. Today, she's here to share her own story from feeling stuck to living with joy and lightness, and how embodiment can be the key to moving from victimhood into true freedom. Shauna, welcome to Positive Vibes.
Thank you. That was an awesome introduction.
You're welcome. So to get to come from the start, Shauna, what was your life before you become a mentor guide for other women? So if you can talk through us, what was those years when you felt stuck look like for you?
Mm. Yeah, so I grew up with quite I would call it a challenging upbringing. A house where, yeah, there was just trauma any direction that you looked. So I think I spent most of my life feeling a bit stuck and a little bit dislocated, like I didn't know where I belonged. I didn't know what the right direction was, but I always had a fascination for people. I often ask the question why. That's probably one of my favorite questions growing up. But why, about everything, and also trying to understand, my childhood, and why is this happening to me, and what's the purpose of this? And so I think, as I was asking that question over and over again, I had that natural fascination and decided, you know what, I think I want to study social work or study people.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt very natural. It felt very easy. Um, I've always loved having conversations with people about a lot of things, where they come from, where they're going, what excites them. So it just felt like a natural progression for me. But yeah, I would say that's sort of how I moved into that world of embodiment when I got a degree in social work, and then
Mm-hmm.
did social work for a while, but it was hard and it was
Mm-hmm.
draining. I hadn't dealt with the underlying causes of a lot of my trauma. So doing social work actually helped, not help, but it exacerbated everything.
Yeah.
So my experience was then I moved to Australia, and I fell in love with yoga, and from yoga that really transformed my life. And then I learned a lot of other practices
Mm-hmm.
that led me on that the pathway of embodiment. So I feel like it was a lot of different things. It wasn't just like one moment, but there were many influential moments and mentors that I had that took me from feeling really stuck, to feeling
Yeah.
quite free and alive again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But just on that moment, you said there was lots of mentors in your life. Was there a pivotal moment or a turning point that you realized something needed to change in your life?
Yeah, yeah. I had moved to Australia. At this time I was 25, and a friend
Mm-hmm.
had invited me to go to yoga, and it was a heated vinyasa yoga class. And I went and I hated it. I actually hated it. I hated yoga. I hated the teacher. I hated the person next to me breathing. I hated the smell of the carpet. And there was like this common theme. I hate like all of this. And yet I kept coming back to the yoga practice during this period of time. So I spent class after class coming back to this thing that I supposedly hated. And I think what I realized, there was this moment where, like I said, I was really angry. I was angry at, everything and everyone. And the yoga mat was a great reflection of that. So then I went,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, I realized that I am not only just angry here in the yoga room, I'm actually angry about everything. And so the mat is simply just a reflection to me of my inner state. And that was a big moment for me, because it was like, okay, as soon as I noticed that I could no longer be that victim, I had to then begin that journey of taking accountability for if I was going to continue to be angry because I chose that, or if I was going to choose something.
So, Shauna, you said your work is rooted in your own transformation. What were some of the small shifts you made that started to bring lightness back into your life?
Hmm. I went from living a life that was in my head to living a life that was through my body. So, having an upbringing where it was about survival, it was about figuring out the best strategy to be able to escape life. Essentially, I learned how to get out of my body as that survival mechanism. And so, the things that allowed me to come back into my body, definitely yoga was a huge thing. I'd have tears. I just have tears coming down and not really know why they were happening or what was happening. But I was like, oh, wow, there's some energy in this, and started to
Mm.
notice energy. I worked with a specific practitioner that works through the kinesthetic process. So it was 10 sessions of just feeling for an hour straight. So I would say something, and then she'd say, okay, go in and feel it. And I'd go into my body and I'd feel it. And then 30 seconds later, I'd open my eyes. I go, okay, I felt it. And she'd go, like you've been there for 30 seconds, right? And we would do this for like over and over again until I learned how to just come back into my body and how to feel safe to feel things. So,
Mhm.
yeah. And I had other mentors who just sort of called me out on my bullshit, or just like, this is, you're making excuses. And yeah, so I think the process, it was a slow process, but it was just one step at a time. And it was about moving out of my head and stopping asking the question why all the time, and getting into my body and always asking, how does this feel? Like, does this excite me? Does this bring me joy? Is this something I want to do? Like, do I want to do that? So I hope that answers your question, but that was sort of what my experience was.
So, Shauna, from what you were answering there, it sounds like you were touching on what embodiment healing looks like. For someone who doesn't know the concept of embodiment, what does it really mean?
Mm. Well, to me, to be embodied is to be in the body, living life, which is not from the head, because the head is not the body, and the body keeps the score. It leads the way. Like an example is if someone walks in the room and you get that like sick feeling in your tummy, like there's something wrong, like the body sends the signal and then the mind goes, ooh, that doesn't quite feel right. Right. So it's like, to me, embodiment is learning how to get into your body and trust yourself.
Okay. And in regards to reconnecting with the body, how does that help us shift out of the feeling of powerless or stuck?
How does being in the body help
Yeah,
us?
help us. Yeah. How does reconnecting with the body help us shift out of the feeling of feeling powerless or stuck?
I think that when you're in your body, you learn to trust yourself, and
Mm,
you are your greatest teacher. No, you can have heaps of people tell you the way that you should live your life, but at the end of the day, your highest self knows what's best for you. So if you're
mm,
always living according to programming or ideas or beliefs or things that keep you on a really surface level in your head, how do you trust yourself? How do you know that that's the way that you want to live your life? So I think a big process is learning how to get into the body, know that it's safe to be in the body, and then trusting yourself. And then when you trust yourself, you can ask yourself these questions. Does this excite me? Does this bring me joy? Is this the life I love? And it's okay to be honest with yourself and to feel it all.
Mm. And just on that trust, you said before that you tried yoga and you hated it, but
Mm.
you went back there. So there was something there that you trusted. So, what role has yoga played in your own healing and in the way you work with your clients?
Hmm. It's interesting because I still teach yoga and I've taught yoga for a long time. I don't work so much with people one on one with yoga.
Mhm.
I work more in a group capacity because the reason I teach yoga is more to try and impact that soul level of them or the emotional body more
Mm.
so than the physical body. I love the asana, I love the flexibility and the strength and all that, but it's not really the focus. So when I work with people or when I work with clients, it's usually in a retreat capacity because I really believe there's something to be said for slowing down the body, for
Mm.
slowing down the nervous system, for being in a space around other people where you can feel connected to other people. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And in regards to you work with women, as you said, many women feel disconnected from their feminine essence. So, what does it look like when someone, or what does it look like when you're actually embracing that in real life, and why does it matter?
Great question. Um, so for me, the feminine is about receiving. Like
Mm.
she receives, she bees, she flows, she's ease, she's grace. Like there's this real like watery essence to her.
Mhm.
The masculine to me is more the doing and the getting done and the consistency also in the hormones with males versus females. Like we're meant to be riding this wave, and it's learning how to ride that wave and how to receive. Like there's so many women that I work with that just do not know how to receive
Mm.
not just the beautiful things in life, but just if life is giving you something, it's giving you it for a
Yeah.
reason. So even if it doesn't feel amazing right now, it's happening for a reason. And it's like this desire sometimes to take life and go, you don't know what you're doing. I've got this figured out. So to me, femininity is that ability to receive life as it
Mm.
is and to receive everything and just move with it like water. It's just like we don't have to go upstream. We don't have to fight it. We just get to flow.
That's a really nice concept that you put there. So, how do you help women move from self sabotage into self celebration?
Mm, getting into their bodies.
Yeah.
So out of their minds. So women love to talk to me and then I go, okay, and then just go in and feel that. So go
Mhm.
feel where it is. And then they want to talk about where they feel it. And I'm like, that's great. Just go in and feel it. And just because everything is energy. And so
Mm.
you feel, if you feel your sorrow, then that's the other side for you to feel joy and celebration is next level. But if you don't go to the depths, if you can't feel into the deep hard things, then how do you feel the expand the joy, right? Because
Yeah.
in in a body, like in my body, this is my experience, the feeling of fear and excitement, they are so close. Like fear is like just a millimeter off excitement. So it's like two ends of a spectrum. So when I work with women, I try and teach them that they are their greatest teacher. And I'm just going to teach them how to get in their body so that they can listen to the inner teacher. And that's a process, right? That takes a little bit of time to learn to trust yourself and to learn to feel safe in your body, I think.
Yeah, no. And just on that, could you share one simple practice a woman can start today to feel more connected to herself?
Um, Close your eyes and just go into your body and find something that just has irritated you maybe today. Like start with that, something that pulls you away from your joy or away from your center, and then just own it and take full responsibility for it. Like see what your role is it, and then just feel it and let the energy move through your body. So it's like just breathe into it, just allow it, because a lot of us don't allow it. We get to a point where we're like, okay, I felt it, and we don't actually allow it to take over. I also
Mm.
work with EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. So tapping is a really awesome
Okay.
way to be able to just move energy. So it's just like it's admitting how you feel. It's like even though I feel sad, that's okay that I feel sad. I'm
Mm.
allowed to feel sad, and it's just moving that energy through the body, giving yourself permission that whatever you're feeling is just energy and it wants to
Mm.
move.
Yeah. That's a nice way of putting that because a lot of us probably wouldn't acknowledge it other than frustration and keeping it built inside of us and getting more frustrated and angry with it. So they're nice little simple techniques that we could do. So thank you for sharing that. So you've also worked with gene keys. How do they fit into this journey of self-discovery and joy?
Oh gosh. Have you ever heard of the gene keys?
No. So
Okay.
yeah, please share what that is as
It's
well.
like it's a big journey, the gene keys. They're a big
Yeah.
journey. Okay, so the gene keys is a dynamic system, and how does it help you to self discovery? Well, it's based on where you're born, what your location is, what the time is, where Venus sits, where Mars sits, where the sun sits, where the moon sits. And it's not similar to astrology in my perspective. It does come from astrology, it does come from human design. It also originates from the I Ching. So it's a bunch of different systems sort of bubbled into a system. And this system tells you what your shadows are. So this
Mhm.
is specific, right? Because
Mm.
if I said, "Oh, hey, Nikki, you have a shadow of seriousness," right? Then
Mhm.
it would be a bit like, "Whoa, like what? Like, how does this system know that I have this shadow?" And you've got 11 different shadows, and the shadow brings you your gifts. So your gifts are like what you're here to bring the world. You have
Mhm.
this really special part of you that's here to bring it to the world, and you're here to bring it to humanity. So with each key, because they're called the gene keys, and gene
Yeah.
is like genetic because it's like your genetic code, right?
Mhm.
Gene key has this key, and then it has the shadow, and then it has the gift, and then it has like your highest potential as a human to sitting in that sphere. Each sphere is slightly
Yeah.
different. So what one might be in your head, a couple might be in your body, one might be in your relationships. So it just goes super, super deep into showing you parts of yourself that you wouldn't be able to see. Because I really believe that with shadows, when we try and see them, they go away. Like we go, oh, where are you? And then it hides. And
Yeah.
yet this system brings it to the forefront. And then you see these things and you go, wow. Okay. And for me, like, if I would have known this stuff 20 years ago, I would have been like, that would have really helped me out because
Yeah.
for me, it allowed me to just go, now I get it. Now I get why I've struggled with this, or now I get why. And without the struggle, you don't get the gifts. And so I think that's the thing is people can tap into this human potential that they have, knowing that without the shadow, they don't have the gift. So it's like a beautiful way of looking at reframing, and it's very individual. So like what we could have the same key, but then different line numbers. So the way that we do life is very different. And I think it can be very empowering for a lot of people and also very freeing. It can release your genes. Exactly changes that code. And I've seen it happen in my life. It's powerful.
Yeah, no, it sounds quite interesting, and it's giving you another depth of you understanding yourself and why you react and feel the way you do. So that's an interesting theory. So I'm sure our listeners will be keen to look that up further and look at your work around that. So, can you tell us
Definitely.
or provide us a daily ritual that always makes you feel grounded?
Mm. See, this is interesting because I don't really do that.
Yeah.
So, because it's doing for me,
Mm.
that to do something every day is a doing. And for me, I go in and I go, what would feel best for me? So some days I journal, like a lot of days, journaling is an awesome
Yep.
opportunity for me to get that perspective. Some days I'm just in my body moving.
Mhm.
Some days I'm in a yoga class. Some days I'm just in my body feeling and following the energy. Some days it's meditation.
Yep.
Um, the thing is, I don't really have one practice because, like, I'm always changing and
Yeah.
evolving, and I don't want to get stuck there. And I also don't want to feel like I have to do anything. I want to do what I feel called to do. So I think I don't really have the one thing. I guess if I had to choose one, I journal more often than not because I find
Yeah.
it quite helpful in my experience. Yeah.
Mm. That's quite refreshing to hear that you've got variations of different things that you do on any given day. It's just what it feels right for you, because there are a lot of people that, I've spoken to that feel that for them to be grounded, they've got to stick to their routine, and it's a ritual thing and it works for them. But I found that I couldn't commit to one thing because, I had multiple things as well. And I was getting distress with myself thinking I've got to commit to this. But yeah, it's really refreshing to hear that there's there's a wide variety of things that you can do, and it's actually just what makes you feel good and moving the energy. So that's really enlightening. Yes.
Mhm,
Thank you for
mhm.
sharing that with our
Yeah.
listeners.
Yeah.
And one word that describes how you feel about your life today.
One word. Magical.
Yeah.
Yeah, magical. I wouldn't,
Perfect.
yeah, I just wouldn't have been able to think that I would be anywhere where I am now. It's
Yeah.
really a miracle. So feels like magic.
Wonderful. And in one sentence, can you what does positive vibes mean to you?
Mm. Positive vibes is an energetic thing. It's an aura thing to me. It's not just a I'm happy, like yay, I'm feeling good. It's actually your whole vessel is it's like your mind and your body and your thoughts, they all are in alignment and you're moving in a positive direction or in a direction that's propelling you forward in life. That's what I would describe it as.
Wonderful. And Shauna, where can our listeners find you or join your programs or attend your retreats?
Hmm. The easiest way is just to go to my website, which is shaunahawks.com. I'm sure you'll probably post that or whatever, and people can look me up. But that's the easiest way. And you can just go exploring on my website and just see if anything lights you up. And yeah, if you just want to have a chat and see if there's any way that I can support you, because I'm, now I'm moving into a place in my life where I just want to be of service, and it doesn't need to look a certain way for me. You don't have to do a certain thing. It's just, well, whatever, if you feel called and we can work together, great. So that's where you can find me on my website.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with our listeners. And just on our listeners, for the woman that's listening who feels heavy, disconnected, or unsure where to start, what's one thing you would want her to know?
Find someone you trust
Yeah.
and invest in someone you trust. But when I say trust, make sure she has a life that you want. So if you're stuck and you want to have forward momentum, go and find someone who has that. Go and find someone who has a life that they love, if that's what you're after. And I think that it's beautiful because people who have been where other people have been know the journey really well. So that would be my suggestion. And don't be afraid to invest like in yourself, like you're worth it.
Mm. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Shauna.
Mm.
And thank you for opening your heart and reminding us that freedom isn't something that we have to wait for. It's something we can start embodying right here and right now. You've shown us that reconnecting with ourselves isn't just about healing, it's about remembering who we really are and letting that truth guide us to how we live, how we love, and how we show up in the world. So, thank you so much for sharing today, Shauna. I'm sure there's a lot of listeners out there that will be Googling you and looking at your healing modalities out there, because they are very different to what I've heard and it's all new to me.
Oh, beautiful. I'm glad that you could like receive something from it. Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
And to our listeners, may you take a deep breath, drop back into your body, and choose one small act today that makes you feel more alive, more connected, and more you. This is Positive Vibes. Until next time, stay light, stay joyful, and stay connected to the magic within you. Bye for now.